the squad represented by Turox, Foxes, Dean, Alv, and Salazar. Currently 1 map ahead as FORZE Reload looks to bounce back. A pair of dualies together with a smoke. We have a flash for recon, but there isn't a defuse kit. Something which FORZE Reload doesn't really pick up when it comes down to playing in those first pistol rounds. Ladies and gentlemen, I sincerely hope that you get to enjoy this absolute blast of Dust2 that we're expecting it to be. Yeah, B. Yeah, I don't think that we're going to be seeing a B hit. Here they come, creeping out of long. Flash has already been utilized, but plenty more util available. URSA loves going in with these type of rounds where they have a lot of flashes and a smoke to make the cross. In any case, it just feels like it will end up being a hit for A. I don't think that with Torox's position, he's going to be able to call them out. Mostly due to the fact that if you're playing the position where Torox is, you're expecting for any CT aggression to be coming in. Not the case. A 4-man strong setup on A, which URSA will need to break. There isn't a molly, but they know that no one is around cars. So off, and Salazar will open it up with quick 2. Recons his USP, could be as deadly as always. So he dodges out on the flash, keeps on finding headshots. Fox's trades down into a 3-on-2. We go with a P250. Feeling hungry for even more blood. Spirit, last man standing, 1-on-3 now, 1-on-2. We have seen plenty of crazy outplays, and this is the reason why Spirit is the big player, but not today. Torox stops him as URSA once again will secure the first pistol round. That was way too close for comfort. A lot of trades. Jump hold done by Recon. He stopped the first wave. Spirit tried his best. As we saw, quick reactions, which now lead FORZE Reload into an eco. Quadruple Galil with an AK. And some strong util to back this one up. URSA's play style is honestly quite straightforward. In the early stages, they will oftentimes pressure heavily long to try and take control over this part of the map. And then, as they keep on getting deeper and deeper into their D side, their focus will switch over to being more default, practical if you want to call it. Playing around mid, taking early lower tunnels, double smoking mid doors, and then just pressuring or going for splits. So a quick 2-0. Now, the time has come. Here are the guns. Individual performance, once again, really important. Eyes on the duels between Spirit and Foxes, between Cosmi and Torox. And of course, Svatsi and Av. For a team like URSA, which was eliminated by the Nuclear Tigeries in Season 54, getting this win would be the world. Remember, not that many best of 3s remain until the end of the season. And only one spot that the winner will get to play the DreamHack Knockout Tournament. Mouse NXT is already gone. Min Latte has been eliminated. Fireflux as well. Not anymore in the lower bracket, as Fox is 1 point away from dying. But he finds a good kill. And as he covers, it will be another Cosmis' double, though. Still puts us into a tie. But the bomb has been dropped in the middle of nowhere. Torox finds ahead of Svetsi. What actually happened there? They were not aware of the long player. Recon is isolated from something. And the CT player will be pressured from each and every side. The possibility of isolating the duels is definitely there. Needs to find this one, but Salazar holds his own. As URSA again makes the most out of their execute. Unbelievable how Foxes survive for so long. Single point of hell, and Cosmis' double was not enough. Think about what could have happened had Foxes stayed closer to his teammates. It would have been an absolute disaster. Hitting FORZE Reload in their faces. But again, the dollars are only enough for the pistol upgrades. And URSA once again is looking to take on an early lead. Remember, on Train, that was a 4-0. Ended up as a 8-4 half. The real struggles begun during the second half. However, this time around it's a little bit different. Dust2, a 50-50 map. If you have a look at the most recent statistics, even though we are in a CT-sided meta. This is another one of those maps similar to Asian and Mirage that relies heavily on the individual firepower, as FORZE demonstrates that he's really keen on finding more and more kills. Already 9 on his scoreboard after 3.5 rounds of play. One more has just been added. That's a triple, so a flawless round. And that spark that now has started turning itself into a bit of a fire. Here it comes. The first double op setup will be appearing. Something that FORZE Reload loves doing. Dust2 is known as the Opers' paradise, and having it onto something gives you a lot of freedom because you no longer rely on having a secondary player helping him out in those B defenses. You can focus your efforts more on fighting for middle, on pressuring short, on having even a two-man setup over towards long, but it will be for now the two-man defensive one that we have for FORZE Reload on middle. This doesn't really end up being the pressure that they hoped for, so short control already acquired, looking to adapt. Spirit will be joined by s55. This is a tricky position if you're FORZE Reload right now, because you're essentially relying on s55 to be landing that first shot. If he misses out, things can get really tricky for him, and straight into the scope FORZE goes. First job has been completed for FORZE Reload. Let's see Salazar. This is his favorite map, the one on which he feels extremely comfortable. But it's a team game, and you need to catch somewhere else, because his job is to be cutting out the rotating player. Spirit in an off angle. There comes the molly thrown his way. That's a problem. They know about the ramp player and they will punish him. Surely they have the numbers advantage to do so. Head has been spotted. Bullets dodged. Recon down. And it's a huge problem right now for FORZE Reload, because this setup has been broken, shattered into pieces. Something still to combine with his IGL. The captain, he was the saving grace, but not today. He falls together with his teammates. 5-0. URSA looks really good in those early stages of their map pick. It was beautiful that they remained so calm, because it's so easy for you to actually accelerate, send another guy to push immediately through short, allowing for s55 to reposition, but instead they just paused for a moment. They were certain that at some point the Russian Opa will have a peek on towards long. They punish him. They were aware of the secondary player standing deeper. Molly for him. You force the duel, you dodge the bullets, and everything fell in its place for Team URSA. There comes another moment of brilliance out of Torox and Foxes. Great coordination. Flash works off. Torox will dodge the one, but cannot dodge Cosmis' bullets. Foxes is covering, so it will even be an extended leg for URSA, as they will add one more. And also, they haven't really been dropping a lot of units, which is another massive problem, because you're essentially building a really stable economy. Something already dead. 13 for Foxes. Massive performance. 13 already. The very last time that I saw a player having this amount of kills in just 6 rounds of play, but back then it was even more, was Woolsey on Ancient. Twister, добър вечер, братко, радвам се да те видя. Добре дошъл на стрима. Another double up setup. Something really with a really slow start. s55 says mistakes have been punished. News of opportunity there. Fox is already out of long, not hesitating away from taking duels. Another molly just in case someone wants to play close. Something manages to land that shot. Wasn't too far away from getting headshotted, but he survives, and that's an important opener that FORZE Reload secures. However, there is another gap in their defensive setup. Let's see whether Foxes will realize the possibility. Whoa. He hide himself around the bomb site. FORZE Reload is currently playing for the retake. They have a defuse kit in recon. Double smoke, but they still think that it's actually a play for middle, and now they will get punished. FORZE Reload. The concentration has been fallen. Sure, it was a nice trick with the smokes, but you should have been aware. You should have just known. And the bomb now will make its way. Another moment of brilliance out of URSA. Understanding how FORZE Reload have built their defenses and fighting, being the Trojan horse in it to ruin it all down. As something needs to run for the hills. This op is extremely important if FORZE Reload wants to stand a chance. The most amount of dollars, as you can see, that they have are 150 for both Spirit and something. And the HUD is on. URSA feels blood in the water. They will pressure, they will go. They know that shutting down the op is everything that you need. 7-0 FORZE Reload needs to do something about it, because else this could turn out being one of the quickest maps which we have had since the beginning of the 55th season of ESEA Advanced. Tactical timeout, absolutely a discussion required. Coach on the mic. Dean still looking for his first kill, whereas Foxes has 16. And on the opposite side, look at what has been happening. Again, it's only Cosme getting closer to that neutral KD difference. Fatsi with a single one, not enough. Spirit with those early struggles. The star players are missing. URSA came here to play. URSA came here to show the best possible Counter-Strike that we have seen out of the squad in a while. Just the pistols. And you know, sometimes playing a lot of CS maps could be a double-edged knife, sword, because the thing with playing that many official matches is that you don't get a lot of time to properly prepare for your opponents. And while some casters and analysts have been saying that the ESEA Advanced League is really not that important because the reward is just a single place in that DreamHack knockout tournament, I will actually argue the opposite, that this is an extremely important tournament for the development of the young talents. And I think that if you're an academy team like FORZE Reload, like Mouse NXT, Wildcard Academy, you need to be focused on the matches that you have. You need to come in prepared, and right now preparation is not looking that good. We saw an example of a lack of concentration in the previous one. Yeah, sure, here to try and make it slightly more expensive, they've picked up the AK. Smoke will block them at least for now, allowing for Av and Salazar to reposition. But nonetheless, this is a match from the lower bracket. You cannot allow yourself to be losing in such a way. And FORZE Reload needs to go for it. They have to pressure. They have to just try. 2 AKs in their hands. Recon already dead. Another moment of brilliance. Salazar with 2. URSA. They look unbreakable. They look like the better team. And it's still not too late. I think that having 4 rounds could be enough in some instances. You know, I understand that right now we have a big gap individually between the two sides. But it's still not too late. This is the round. This is where Svetsi needs to show what is made of. Time for him to move. Time for him to take the initiative. To try at least. And he will look. Of course that he will. But Alv is one step ahead of the play again. And with Foxes pushing through that smoke, there isn't a player covering. Surprise, surprise. URSA is just not hesitating away from those fights. And not only that, but they play with a whole ton of confidence. Recon will dance around that bomb side. Will get a ding, but nothing more. Spirit left on his own demises. The bomb will once again be planted. And FORZE Reload has not come online. This is URSA's territory. And it feels like you find yourself in the jungle, where there aren't any rules, but it's just all about how hungry you are. And whether you are the hunter or the prey. The bomb will explode as URSA keeps on getting closer and closer towards the end of this best of 3. We already know the name of their opponent. It's going to be Team Dragon. We're given a free win tonight as Mouse NXT forfeited their matches. They're traveling back from the LAN tournament in Sweden. But after the end of this match, only 4 teams will be left. Old Boys versus Wildcard Academy tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central European Time. At least for now. The other match from the lower bracket is scheduled for 7:30. Torok scheduling his appearance on long. Teen will be pressured from 2 sides. Still finds a kill. That's good. The op shot, I do believe, missed. But long control has been acquired by Torox. You have a guy inside lower tunnel. Salazar is more of a passive lurker. So don't expect for him to get any cocky with pushes or miscalculated, plays. Anti-flash position for Torox could be everything if there is a guy that can hold it for him. There it is. Sits Alf's up. Incendiary pushes him. But Alf loses out on the duel. Svetsy with a second. Spirit finds the third. And it's only up to Salazar. But you can see where the bomb has been planted. Finally, FORZE Reload manages to punish Ursus' mistakes. And unless Salazar goes nuclear, I don't see a world in which this will end up being a success. Let's see, with a miss. He get a second attempt. HE a little bit too short. And the short player will seal the deal. It was about time. FORZE Reload get their first round. A lot more will be required. 2 more to be precise. You can see the insane round win streak that we had going on for the T side. Double op setup even appears for Foxes and all. Okay, the shot will not land. I really like this approach. Okay, this is now something different. This is now something that we can work with, and so can URSA as they try and surround something. He falls. That was the secondary op. FORZE Reload gone. Recon as well follows the fate of his teammate. And again, without hesitating, they see a moment, they go for it. Svetsy will catch the bomb carrier, so maybe there is a small chance, but it depends on Cosmi, who will now get spotted, dealt with. And Svetsy needs to go nuclear. He needs to deliver a highlight for the ages. Because else, this will pretty much be it. 10-1. Double digits for Team URSA as we enter into the final round of this first half. Domination, the name of the game for Torox, Foxes, Dean, Alv, and Salazar. Whereas nothing is really working out for FORZE Reload. Okay, Svetsy. Aggressive. Needs to be careful about the flash. There isn't a guy that can help him out. Molly deep. Recon has committed. Svetsy will catch Foxes. Worried that he might be surrounded. Here comes Salazar holding on to a knob. He will go down. First 2 kills found. Torox under some more pressure. And as he drops the bomb, I do believe that this becomes impossible. As quickly as that, FORZE Reload will get to a second. 2 ops with a scout, and there it is. FORZE Reload finally add 1 more. But the massive difference becomes from the fact that URSA has looked unstoppable. Second pistol round underway. A do or die moment. FORZE Reload You have to get it. You have to figure out a way. You lose this one and you're pretty much out from ESEA Advances playoffs. Couple of jumps. Here comes the smoke for mid doors. Standard combination. 2 more flashes and a smoke. So plenty of util for FORZE reload if they manage to get themselves control over a short. You can go for a split for A. You can wait. Squeeze out some extra seconds. Go back and hit B. There are a lot of different set plays which you can execute now that you have acquired mid and short control. Seems like they want to fully commit onto A, where we have Torox. Foxes with the util will come in. One dropping down, but it's off. Hitting the first. Torox and off will add 2 more. And things look to fall apart. FORZE reload is simply unable to put up a better fight. Something can't really even deal with off, who picks up his third. And I think that this was the final nail in FORZE reload's coffin. Boba Svet, thank you so much for joining us. Bomb was not planted. Feel like you have to invest. You just have to go in. Sure, it feels bad. It looks like URSA wants to close it out as quickly as they can, but just try your best. That's it. Don't think about the result. Think about how many more rounds can you get. Salazar gets stacked. This is something. Mid control again. Acquired early by FORZE reload. Here comes the quick smoke for CT. Pro, they want to send a guy to push forward. There it is. Catches one. That's a W. In my eyes, at least, for FORZE reload. And not only that, but they have pulled the attention away. Immediate smoke onto short. Now you can just slow it down and go for a split. I think that splitting the map right now and hitting B would be the best case scenario for FORZE reload. Let's see what they decide to go for. Minute and 12 seconds on the clock. Plenty of time. Team is looking to come closer and closer. Spots ahead. Doesn't manage to connect with the shots. Something will catch Salazar in the meantime. And now that Alv and Torox have made their presence known, they'll clear out quite a lot of off angles. Recon around the box in lower tunnels. Svatse is currently waiting around the smoke. What matters most is that the bomb will get planted. Torox's MP9 puts us into a tie. Maybe there is still a chance. Let's see when they activate. Torox hides himself inside the smoke. They have absolutely no idea where Svatse is. And as he creeps out, not enough bullets. Spirit, a single shot from the Deagle will do the job. Only one that he needs. Alv is extremely low on points of health. He starts running lower and lower on time. There isn't a defuse kit. And as he tries, he will fail. FORZE reload survives as they look for a catalyst, searching for a comeback. Immediately, in a typical URSA fashion, we're gonna get a pause after they end up losing a round. Yeah, this time it's not a tactical one, it's a tech pause. I think he had issues on the previous map as well. So let's hope that those are gonna get sorted out quickly so that we can go back into the action. How are you guys doing there in the chat? Is all good? All that you're enjoying as much as I am. It's truly been a blessing to be covering those matches. No need to remind you that I have been following and streaming matches from the ESEA Advanced League since season 46. And a lot of teams have made their way towards the upper echelons of play. I've seen a team like 500 lift the trophy. We had Ruby with one of the most dominant seasons ever. We had Team Next Level with a flawless regular season. Team Singularity won back in the days. Navi Junior versus Spirit. Navi Junior versus Spirit Academy. Exactly, it was a final that I will always remember. Overall, a lot of good emotions, and more than anything, a lot of talented players that have started here in the ESEA leagues and are right now playing in Tier 1. Perfect moment for us to hydrate. Some water definitely needed to go off. Has to be an investment from URSA. Probably a scout with some upgraded pistols. Maybe an MP9. But will they actually go for it? This is... Yeah, okay, they will. For just a second, I thought that it will be a really conservative approach. Double scout, double 5.7, and an M4. On a map like Dust2, you need to be really careful. Exactly because of this. There is a reason why this map is the Opus' paradise. And as you can see, Alv is ahead of the play. Smoke blocks the entrance. Not more bullets left. So they will finally get a trade. This M4 is irretrievable. Upgrade given, but look at where FORZE is right now. If he is a bit more patient, there will be a timing for him. Dean will look to confirm the presence of T players over towards short, and now the time has come for FORZE to activate. Can come out from behind if they slow it down. Additionally, Salazar waits around the corner. FORZE has been spotted. Salazar misses, so FORZE reload stabilizes it. It looks like they will get to a bomb plant. Things could have gone real south for the T side, and this would have been map done. They get away with it. I don't want to jinx anything, but what if we see one of the craziest comebacks since the beginning of the playoffs? Just think about how cool of a story this will be. Right now, honestly, it doesn't feel like we can get it. Dreams are free. The bomb will explode. FORZE reload. Keeping the pressure growing. I don't think they're necessarily that worried at this point if you're URSA, but of course, you should never underestimate your opponents. Curious whether FORZE and Torox will try and be aggressive with the two guns that they have. Likely, they will have one or two bodyguards with them to throw their bodies in so that you can trade. Yob has been dodged. Quick smoke. Okay, FORZE reload. They will come in quickly. Salazar is a single defender. He has been dealt with. Alpha will find one. And seems like the choice of FORZE reload was really good. Dodging out the two guns. Accelerating. Think about what could have happened had FORZE been there. Had Torox been around the corner. This would have been a totally different round. So, bits of luck there helping out FORZE reload in their attempt to bounce back after getting knocked down by URSA. There is still a defuse kit. Maybe you can try and go for it if you're FORZE, but not in this one. You're just gonna run for the hills. We want to save that M4. Alv waits around. There is another thing that he can lose outside of the $500 investment that we're seeing on our screens. And as they haven't found a leeway to enter that B bomb side, they will at least deal some more economical damage, shutting down Cosme. But nonetheless, FORZE reload keeps the fight going. This is what we want to see. You never give up. You play until the very last frag, the very last moment. Okay, here we go again. Another full buy round that FORZE reload needs to deal with. Something on the op. Was attempting to find the early peek. Oh, they go in again. It's another A hit. The counter flash was good, but Salazar needed a multi-kill because Dean is unable to contribute. And again, without any hesitation, without any questions asked, FORZE reload just goes in. Full of confidence. Not thinking about what can go wrong, but only being concentrated on the positives. So another will be secured by the young Russian players. Okay, now I'm interested. Now we start talking more seriously about the recovery. The difference is still quite sensible, but we're slowly starting to shrink it. And I wouldn't mind seeing URSA calling for a tactical timeout. They've looked incredibly good on the D side, but there is a spark. We can all feel it. It has kind of gotten a little bit hotter here on Dust2. Let's see. s55 this time around looking. Bullet will miss. Could have been a collateral. He was not quick enough and not precise enough. But nonetheless, no one covering middle means that FORZE reload with a single smoke can get both mid and short control again. Important parts of the map if you want to control the early outcome of the duels. It's much more comfortable to be taking those against the CT side. You can see it right now, a heavier focus. Fox is not too far away from finding that kill. Another acceleration happening. Alf connects with the first shot. Will he see the head? No, he will not. Pushed back by those flashes. As 9 Pandas, his previous OPA, will reposition, but he relies on his teammates. And so far, this turns into a 2-man lead for URSA going into this retake. A lot of work needs to be done, but the good news for FORZE Reload is that they have Spirit and s55 helped out by Recon. The big stars are still playing, and the big stars need to go nuclear as Recon opens it up. Flash catches Spirit, denying him the chance to have a peek, but Salazar has been turned into dust. Spirit has fallen. Recon is the last guy that can do something about this massive problem. Deals with the short player, picks up a no bodyguard system in position, but no one can stop Recon. There isn't just enough time, so the bomb will explode, and FORZE Reload holds on to save themselves from giving map and match points to URSA. And of course, that we need a moment to breathe, because things are starting to get heated. You can feel it. Nice fight. Spirit was stopped on several occasions, but Recon did the job. Showing up when his team needed him. And in these high pressure moments, we need each and every player to perform, to deliver, to be there for their respective squad. I really like what I'm seeing out of FORZE Reload. Honestly, I was a bit worried that this could end up being one quick match. I think that if they add one more, maybe they can start believing. Or maybe they have always believed, who knows? Because people say that you find your true self when you hit rock bottom. And we go again, wanting to know whether it will be URSA stopping the flames of FORZE Reload, or whether those cannot get extinguished like the Amaterasu. Early cross made. A leash on towards long. But the focus of FORZE Reload remains getting early prio over towards middle and short. This is their bread and butter. Couple quick plays. And then maintaining your focus on middle. Outside of the peak that we saw from Foxes in the previous round, we haven't necessarily seen any mid pushes. You know, I'm lacking a little bit the OPA of Team URSA going deeper inside lower tunnels, looking for the opening kill. The 2-man pressure towards tunnels. It has been a little bit too static in the last couple of rounds, and I wouldn't mind seeing them shake it off. Single flash remains. So at this point in time, the possibilities of rotations are not that many. Here comes another smoke. Feels like Cosme wants to just drop down and play from CT. Flash has just been given. Here comes Recon getting caught with a molly in the hand. This is not really optimal. Drop has been heard. Foxes reacts. It's a double out of the Latvian. Will finally get dealt with by s55, but Salazar is prepared for the tunnels player, putting all the weight on the shoulders of this guy. That's a triple kill, and he needs the ace. Has 20 seconds to get the bomb planted and show what it's made of. FORZE reload and their fans, all eyes on this guy. Ace clutch. Or 5 map and match points. s55, I do believe he was spotted. Salazar. He thinks about it. No, he did not spot, but he can react. And fighting the head of his opponent will lead Salazar to a defusal. 15 kills, a significantly better map performance here on his favorite map. And now it's no longer a mirage, but it's reality hitting FORZE reload in the face. Because they will need to save 5 map and match points if they want to secure themselves a tie in OT. And if they want to remain alive here in ESEA Advanced. Here they go. Off with an outstanding series, but Foxes has been the true difference maker. s55 pushes out. Safety found by Torox. He confirms Dean sent forward. He'll keep on exploring. Torox thought about the fight. Gets stopped. Good off angle. Cosme delivers the first. The IGL this time with way more difficulties, but Salazar and Foxes are once again well positioned. As something comes out from behind, he needs that second kill. Will deliver it, but Foxes does the same. 26. And seems like the Latvian has done it. Something needs to hold on. Barely does that against the first. One more is required, but it's never meant to be. FORZE reload have been pushed outside of ESEA Advanced because URSA survives, and they will see another best of 3. Getting a 2-0 against a tough opponent. Good game, well played.